Hey everybody, welcome back to another monthly market report for real estate here in the Central Okanagan, this time reviewing the stats in September of 2025. So over the last month, we have definitely seen some changes. I felt like by the end of August and going through September, we definitely felt an uptick in activity, both from the buying and selling standpoint, and it's kind of apparent in the stats when we go over them. We also had another rate cut announcement from the Bank of Canada with two more rate cuts that happen before the end of the year. So as the market has kind of softened over the last couple of months, it does feel like we have stabilized to some point, flattened out, and kind of at the belly of the market. It'll be interesting to see what happens with the Bank of Canada's next two announcements, and I feel like that will definitely set the precedent for what happens in the next year and the real estate market overall in 2026. But without further ado, let's get right into the stats. As discussed, the Bank of Canada dropped their overnight interest rates 0.25 basis points, and the overnight rate is now 2.5%. The absorption rate, however, is still 9.5%, sinking us further into that buyer's market. But in terms of overall stats, I feel like it was pretty positive across the board. There was 398 sales from last month, which is up 4% from the previous month and up 39.16% from this time last year. So a huge difference of September 2024 to September 2025. And the average sales price for all product increased 9.25% from this time last year to an overall average sales price of $802,497. The list to sell ratio is at 95.45%, which means we are still seeing that slight discrepancy between buyers and sellers. The sellers who are not really in tune with the market and wanting to test out the market is a lot of sellers often like to do, but then slowly coming to the realization that this buyer's market, and for how long this buyer's market has been going on, this is not the time to do that. You have to be priced correctly. And when you are priced correctly, whether you're a townhouse, condo, or single family home, you usually are moving within the average days on market. But if you're testing out the market at a higher price, you're tending to sit longer and eventually having to drop your price probably lower than what you would have got if you just priced it correctly based on the market in the first place. Now moving on to the average price of individual product. The average price for a condo is up 8.54% to an average price of $501,619. The average price for a townhouse is up 17.26%, a big jump in the average price from last month for townhouses to an average price of $845,372. Again, you can see some big jumps either way when you're looking at month to month for individual product. It doesn't always paint the best picture. I just like to kind of keep you in tune since we do look at the year back for most other stats. And the average price for single family home actually dropped 3.34% to an average overall price of $1,060,499. The average days on market is up 17.84% from this time last year to an average days of 78 days on market. So quite a lot longer from 66 days of last year. And remember, these numbers are always skewed because you have people deleting and relisting their listings. So it's actually probably longer than 78 days as an average. Probably one of the most interesting stats of this month. I mean, it's not crazy, but our listing inventory is at 4,180 total units on the market currently. And why that's interesting is because for the first time in at least a year, this is actually a drop from this time last year. We are down 1.18%. So not a huge number from this time last year for overall inventory. It does give you some hope in what direction the market's going to go when sales actually increased and inventory dropped. Still have a lot of inventory right now. We are currently sitting on 9.5 months of inventory. So it's not like we're lacking or the supply is starting to run out, but it's just good to see that number finally dip after over a year. So we will have to see what happens this month with the next rate announcement on October 29th. But overall, it's kind of been as expected with a pretty busy fall. And I think it will continue that way throughout October, and we'll start to see that slow down either at the beginning of November or usually halfway between November. And with the seasonality of the market, that usually continues into mid to end of January where things start to pick up for the spring market. So there you have it. Those are the real estate stats for September in 2025. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions about what I discussed or you're wanting to learn more, you can call me, text me, email me at the information on the screen right now or linked in the description down below. And if you are planning on moving to Kelowna, you're interested in what the market is doing, you want to be put on my monthly market update, you can contact me there, or make sure you follow my main channel, Living in Kelowna BC, for everything you need to know about living, moving to Kelowna, the Okanagan, or the surrounding towns. Again, my name is Boholij, your Okanagan real estate professional and relocation specialist. That was my monthly market update for real estate in the Central Okanagan. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will catch you in the next video.